the United States, around 600,000 people go missing every year. Around 75% of these cases get resolved within the next year. What makes the missing person case of Hannah Upp so bizarre is that she just doesn't go missing, but between the years of 2008 and 2017, Hannah disappeared a total of 3 times, each with its own unique story, and every time she disappeared, she don't remember anything that happened in between. This is the bizarre disappearance of Hannah Upp. During Hannah's childhood, she grew up in church because her parents were pastors. Due to the very religious, strict upbringing, later in life she would personally struggle with her own outlook on religion. Her parents divorced when she was 15, and eventually she would completely stop communicating with her father. Hannah would become a very happy woman with a positive attitude towards everything. Even though Hannah struggled with her personal outlook on religion, she did know one thing for sure, that she wanted to make a difference in the world. She set out to become a teacher so she can impact the lives of a younger generation. By August 28th in 2008, Hannah is now a 23-year-old school teacher. Later on in the day, Hannah went out for a run near her Hamilton Heights apartment complex in Upper Manhattan. She didn't return home that night. Her roommate wasn't too concerned, thinking she may have stayed the night somewhere else with one of their other friends. The next morning was the first day of the new school year. Hannah's new students eagerly waited for their teacher to arrive, but this never happened. Back at their apartment, Hannah's roommate started to think something was wrong. She decided to search Hannah's room and found she had left her wallet, passport, Metro card, and cell phone all in her purse on her bedroom floor. Hannah would never miss work or leave for extended periods of time without letting someone know. She had simply vanished. She was reported missing, and her friends and loved ones started searching for her in the surrounding area near her apartments. Thousands of flyers were posted in the surrounding areas on signposts, subway stations, and bus stops. A Facebook page was started, and the United Federation of Teachers were offering a $10,000 reward for any information that would lead to her discovery. Even despite all these efforts, nothing would come for the first 2 weeks until Hannah was spotted at an Apple store in Midtown Manhattan wearing running shorts and a sports bra. A man approached her asking if she was a missing teacher that was all over the news. She told him she didn't know what he was talking about and blew him off. The man told those working at the Apple store that he knew that she was a missing teacher, and they contacted the authorities. In order to be sure this was Hannah, her mother Barbara was contacted to review the security footage. She believed this was her daughter. 2 days later, she was spotted at a nearby Starbucks, and she even logged into her email while she was there. Before authorities could arrive, she had already left out the back door. She had been missing for weeks and was wandering around New York like nothing was wrong. She was sighted at multiple other places, but even with these promising leads, Hannah was still eluding those searching for her. On September 16th, 20 days after Hannah had first gone missing, a captain of a Staten Island ferry saw a woman wearing jogging shorts and a sports bra floating face down in the New York harbor. 2 deckhands got into a rescue boat to see if the woman could be saved. As they pulled her into the boat, she took a deep gasp for air. The woman was still alive. They took her to the nearby Richmond University Medical Center on Staten Island. The medical staff tried asking her what happened, but all she remembers was going out for a run, then being pulled out of the water. She did remember her name was Hannah and her mother's phone number. When her mother and investigators arrived, she told them the same things. She had no idea what had happened over the past few weeks. Even when she was shown the security footage of her in the Apple store, she was unable to recall that ever happening. She was later taken to a local hospital where she was nursed back to health. As bizarre as it sounded for her to totally forget that last 20 days that she had been missing, there had to be some sort of explanation. Her friends and family were baffled, and there were those that even accused her of faking the whole situation. She was finally diagnosed with dissociative fugue, which is a rare form of amnesia. A person who is suffering from one of their episodes will forget who they are and anything that they did during that time. This is so rare that one of the most notable people that suffers from this rare form of amnesia is Jason Bourne from the Bourne movies. There are some documented cases of this disorder. A church reverend from Minnesota traveled across country and enlisted in the Navy and never remembered ever doing this. A college professor was missing for years and was later found living a whole new life as a dishwasher. If you have ever had a relative go through the late stages of dementia, you have a little bit of an understanding of how this works. After her first disappearance, Hannah was able to get back to her normal self. She really just wanted to put this whole situation behind her and move on with her life. Her friends even came up with the code words and phrases they would text Hannah just to make sure she was doing fine with her condition. In 2008, an ABC News story said she was a friendly vegetarian who constantly experimented new dishes. Her roommate from the first incident would text her friendly vegetarian, and Hannah would write back, "I like to try new dishes." This would indicate that her memory and condition were doing very well. In 2013, Hannah was living in Maryland and ready to start teaching in a new school year as a teaching assistant. On the first day of class, Hannah never showed up. Her mother Barbara got a call from the police telling her about what had happened. One of her coworkers reported that she was driving to school that morning and she saw Hannah walking at a brisk pace in the wrong direction. Her purse, wallet, and cell phone were later recovered on a wooded walk path in Kensington. After police checked her apartment, they noticed that she didn't sleep there the night before and she didn't make any communication with anyone the previous 24 hours. The next day, she was finally located a mile and a half away from the school in a dirty creek next to a shopping cart. Hannah didn't know anything that happened during those 48 hours. One thing that everyone around her was noticing that both of these disappearances happened at the beginning of the school year. This was usually a high stress time for teachers and school help, so this could be the trigger to her disappearances. Even if the past two disappearances were concerning, they wouldn't be the most bizarre one to happen to Hannah. By September of 2017, Hannah was on her 4th year of teaching. 3 years prior, she had located to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. On September 6, Hurricane Irma hit the U.S. Virgin Islands hard, with winds reaching up to 185 miles per hour. Hannah reached out to her friends, letting them know that she was safe, but the island was devastated. 6 days after the storm, Hannah drove to check in on her ex-boyfriend, Joe Spallino, but he was already gone. The homeowner told her he packed his stuff and was leaving that day on one of the Mercy ships that were giving free rides to residents could get off the island. Hannah quickly drove to the marina to say her goodbyes, and Joe even asked her to come along. Hannah declined, saying that she wanted to stay on the island. After this moment at the marina, Hannah never used her cell phone to contact anyone off of the island. The next evening, Hannah's roommates told her that they were going to get off the island and that she should come with them. Hannah again stated that she was going to stay. Her heart is on the island, and the school will be the first step to a normal life for the kids. The next morning, Hannah told her roommates she was heading to the school, and they watched her drive off. Hannah never showed up, and she didn't come home that evening. The next day, she missed her faculty meeting at the school, and her roommates started looking for her. They started looking at her favorite beach, Sapphire, where she would go pretty often. On the stool of a small bar, they found Hannah's sundress, sandals, and car keys. The workers said they found them on the beach when they were clearing debris from the storm. Even though Hannah was a great swimmer, they didn't know how long she could last out in the ocean. The shoreline was searched by boat, and the Coast Guard sent out 3 helicopters to search the ocean. Her friends checked the names of those that went on the Mercy boats, but Hannah was nowhere to be found. They searched for 3 days, but had to stop due to approaching Hurricane Maria. Hannah or her remains have never been located. There were some bodies of those that tragically died from the hurricanes that washed ashore, but none of them were hers. Some theories have come over the years of what happened to Hannah. Some say she could have went to live with some communities that live in the bush and started a new life. Maybe she got off the island on one of the Mercy ships and was allowed to use another name. There have been possible sightings of Hannah over the years, but none of them have ever been confirmed. Or did she just suffer another episode and fell victim to the coming Hurricane Maria? To this day, no one truly knows what happened to Hannah. but her mother Barbara is still holding on to some hope that one day she might possibly show up. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all in that next video.